The Galactic Council Hall was silent. It was a massive place, bigger than anything humans had ever built. The ceiling was so high that it disappeared into darkness. Strange lights floated in the air, glowing in different colors. Around the circular hall, hundreds of alien species sat in their assigned sections. Some were tall and thin, with glowing skin. Others looked like giant insects. A few were made of pure energy, shining like stars. At the center of the hall stood one small figure, a human. Ambassador Daniel Hayes stood alone, surrounded by beings far more powerful than him. His hands were behind his back. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp. He looked around slowly, studying each alien race. Above him, a giant floating screen lit up. A deep voice echoed across the hall. Final vote has been completed. The room grew colder. All member civilizations have agreed. A pause. Then the words came. Humanity is hereby declared a slave species. For a moment, there was silence. Then the hall exploded with noise. Some aliens laughed. Others whispered. A few simply watched with cold eyes. To them, this was expected. Humans were weak, divided, emotional. They fought among themselves. They had no place among powerful galactic empires. Daniel Hayes did not react. He did not shout. He did not beg. Instead, he smiled. That small smile made several alien leaders uncomfortable. One of them leaned forward. It was a tall being with long arms and glowing blue eyes. "Do you not understand what has been decided?" the alien asked. Daniel slowly looked up. "I understand," he said calmly. "Then why do you smile, human?" The room became quiet again. Daniel took a slow breath. "Because," he said softly, "you just made the biggest mistake in galactic history." A ripple of confusion spread across the hall. Then laughter followed. Loud, mocking, endless. One alien slammed its claw on the table. "You are in no position to threaten us." Another said, "Your species will serve. That is your only future." Daniel did not argue. He simply nodded. "Of course," he said, "we will serve." But there was something in his voice. Something that did not sound like defeat. Before anyone could question it, guards moved forward. Large, armored beings surrounded Daniel. Heavy energy chains appeared in their hands. They locked them around his wrists. The chains glowed red, a symbol of ownership, a symbol of slavery. Still, Daniel did not resist. As they began to take him away, he stopped for just 1 second. He turned his head slightly. No one noticed except one small drone floating high above. In that single moment, Daniel blinked twice. A signal. The drone captured it instantly. And far away, across the stars, the message was received. On Earth, deep beneath the surface, hidden under layers of rock and metal, there was a place no alien knew existed. A secret base. Inside, hundreds of screens suddenly lit up. Red warnings flashed everywhere. Incoming priority signal. Source, Galactic Council Hall. Code verified. A young officer stood up quickly. "Play it." The room went silent. The signal was short, just a few words, but they were enough. Protocol, Wrath of Earth, activated. For a moment, no one moved. Then everything changed. Alarms screamed across the base. Massive doors began to open. Machines that had been sleeping for years powered on. Deep underground, giant warships started to rise slowly from their hidden docks. A commander walked into the room. His face was serious. "Is it confirmed?" he asked. The officer nodded. "Yes, sir. Humanity has been enslaved." The commander closed his eyes for a second. When he opened them again, there was no fear, only cold determination. "Then we begin," he said. Far away, on a distant alien planet, a group of humans stood in chains. They were dirty, tired, hurt. Guards watched them closely. To the aliens, these humans were nothing more than tools. Workers. Slaves. One human slowly lifted his head. His name was Marcus. His face was bruised, but his eyes were alive. A guard shouted, "Move!" Marcus obeyed, but as he walked past another human, he whispered something so quietly that no alien could hear. "It has started." The other human did not react, but his fingers moved slightly. A signal passed from one to another. like a hidden wave, something invisible but powerful. Back at the Galactic Council, the meeting was ending. The alien leaders were satisfied. Humanity had been dealt with. Another weak species brought under control. One of the council members spoke proudly. This will increase our workforce significantly. Another added, their planet will be useful as well. No one questioned the decision. No one thought about consequences, because in their minds, humans were nothing but far away in the darkness of space. Something moved. A massive object appeared silently. Then another and another. Human warships. Hundreds of them. Their designs were unlike anything in the galaxy. Smooth, dark, silent. They did not send signals. They did not make noise. They simply waited, watching, preparing. On Earth, the commander stood in front of a large window. Below him, thousands of ships were launching into space. The sky was filled with fire and light. A soldier walked up to him. "Sir," he said, "all fleets are ready." The commander nodded. "Good." He looked at the stars. "For years," he said slowly, "we prepared for this." The soldier looked confused. "Prepared, sir?" The commander gave a small smile. "Yes." He turned back to the room. "They thought we were weak," he said. "They thought we were divided." He paused. "But they never asked what we were hiding." The room went quiet. Then he gave the final order. "Send a message to all units." The soldier nodded and activated the system. Across every human ship, one sentence appeared. No chains. No masters. Back in slave camps, Marcus suddenly stopped walking. The guard shouted again, "Move!" But Marcus did not move. He slowly looked up at the sky. For the first time in days, he smiled. Above the clouds, a faint shadow passed, too fast for alien eyes to notice. But Marcus saw it, and he understood. Help was coming. The galaxy believed humanity had fallen, that they were broken, controlled, finished. But they were wrong. Humanity had not fallen. Humanity had waited, and now they were ready to rise. The galaxy was calm, too calm. After the decision of the Galactic Council, everything seemed normal again. Trade routes opened. Warships returned to their borders. Alien empires continued their daily operations as if nothing had changed. To them, humanity was already finished. A weak species turned into slaves. No threat, no future. But deep inside their systems, something small had started to move. Something they could not see. Something they could not understand. On the industrial world of Carthos 9, humans worked under a burning red sky. The air was heavy. The ground was cracked. Massive machines filled the horizon, pulling resources from the planet's core. Thousands of human slaves moved in lines, carrying heavy metal parts. Guards watched them from above, armed, alert, but relaxed, because in their minds, humans were harmless. Marcus was there. He walked slowly, carrying a large metal container. Sweat covered his face. His steps looked weak, but his eyes were sharp, watching everything, counting, learning. As he passed a group of humans, he dropped the container slightly. It made a loud sound. A guard turned. "Careful, human." Marcus lowered his head. "Sorry." The guard looked away. But in that one moment, Marcus had done something important. Inside the container, hidden under metal scraps, was a small device, no bigger than a coin. It blinked once, then disappeared under the dirt. Across the planet, the same thing was happening. In mines, in factories, in transport stations, humans were making mistakes, dropping things, slowing down, falling, small actions, but each one placed another hidden device, a silent network, growing, high above the planet. In orbit, an alien command ship floated. Inside, officers monitored the surface. One of them frowned. "I am detecting small energy signals," he said. Another officer looked at the screen. "Insignificant," he replied. "Probably broken equipment." The first officer hesitated, then nodded. They ignored it. On another world, far away, the same story repeated. Different planet, Different sky, same humans, same quiet actions. Everywhere humans went, they left something behind, something invisible. Back on Earth, the hidden base was no longer silent. It was alive. Massive ships moved through underground tunnels. Weapons were being loaded. Systems were being tested. Everything was precise. Everything was controlled. In the command room, the same commander stood in front of a large holographic map. Dots of light appeared across the galaxy. Each one marked a human position. Each one slowly turning green. A scientist stepped forward. Phase 1 is almost complete, she said. The commander nodded. Status of infiltration? 82%, she replied. All major slave zones are connected. The commander looked at the map. Good, he said quietly. They still think we are broken. On Carthos, 9 night had fallen. The red sky turned dark. The machines slowed down. Humans were pushed back into their holding areas. Metal doors closed. Guards stood outside. Inside, the room was crowded, silent. Tired bodies filled the space. Marcus sat in the corner. A young boy sat next to him. Are we to stay like this forever? The boy asked quietly. Marcus looked at him. For a moment, he said nothing. Then he leaned closer. No, he whispered. The boy looked confused. Marcus tapped the ground softly. Twice, then once, then twice again. A pattern. The boy didn't understand, but someone else did. Across the room, another human tapped the wall. Same pattern. Then another, and another. Soon, the entire room was filled with soft, almost silent tapping. A message, spreading, connecting, high above the planet. The hidden devices activated. One by one, they sent signals. Short, fast, precise. Back to space. Back to something waiting in the dark. In deep space, far beyond alien sensors. The human fleet was still there, silent, watching. A massive ship stood at the center, larger than all others. Inside, officers moved quickly. Screens lit up. Signals received. Multiple confirmations. One officer said, "Ground units are ready." Another voice followed. Enemy systems mapped. The commander stepped forward. Any detection? He asked. None, came the reply. A small smile appeared on his face. Perfect. Back in the Galactic Council, things were still calm. Too calm. One council member spoke. Human productivity is lower than expected. Another replied, that is normal. They will adapt. A third added, increase control measures. None of them felt danger. None of them saw what was coming. On Carthos 9, the night grew deeper. Marcus opened his eyes. Something felt different. The air was quiet, too quiet. Then a small sound, a click. He looked down. The ground under him was glowing faintly. The hidden device. It was active. Marcus slowly stood up. Around him, others noticed. No one spoke, but everyone understood. This was it. Outside, the guards suddenly looked at their weapons. One of them frowned. My system is glitching, he said. Another tried to contact command. No response. Lights flickered. Machines stopped. The entire facility began to shut down. High above, the alien command ship shook slightly. System error, an officer shouted. Control is not responding. Another yelled, we are losing power. Panic started to spread. In the darkness of space, human ships moved. For the first time, they powered on. Engines glowed with a deep blue light. Weapons activated silently. Targets locked. Back on the surface, the doors of the human holding area unlocked. Slowly, with loud metallic sound, the guards turned. Confused, Marcus stepped forward. The chains on his hands clicked, then fell, broken. The guard raised his weapon. Stop. Marcus looked at him. Calm, cold. No, he said. Then everything happened at once. The lights went out. Darkness covered the facility. A scream echoed. Then silence. Above the planet, the first human ship appeared from the clouds. Then another. Then hundreds. They moved like shadows. Fast. Silent. Deadly. In the alien command ship, alarm screamed. Unknown fleet detected. Size impossible. Energy levels off the charts. The commander shouted, "Raise defenses." But it was too late. A single human ship fired. A beam of light cut through space. The alien ship split in half, destroyed in seconds. On the ground, Marcus walked out of the facility. Free. Around him, humans emerged from the shadows. No chains, no fear. Only one thing remained. Purpose. Marcus looked up at the sky. Human ships filled the stars. And for the first time, the galaxy was no longer in control. Far away, in the Galactic Council, a message arrived. Emergency signal. Distorted. Broken. But one sentence was clear. This is not a slave revolt. Static. Then the final words came. This is a coordinated human attack. Silence filled the hall. Fear followed. For the first time, they understood. They had made a mistake. A terrible mistake. The galaxy was no longer calm. It was breaking. Across multiple systems, alarms were screaming. Signals were failing. Entire networks were going dark without warning. What had started as small errors was now turning into chaos. On Carthos 9, the sky was filled with fire. Human ships moved like shadows between the clouds. They were fast. Too fast. Alien defense systems tried to lock on, but nothing worked. Every time a weapon fired, it missed. Every time a system activated, it failed. It was as if someone had already disabled everything. Because someone had. Marcus stood on a high platform, looking at the burning horizon. Behind him, hundreds of freed humans gathered. Some held stolen weapons. Others had nothing but their hands. But none of them looked afraid. A young woman stepped forward. "What do we do now?" she asked. Marcus didn't look at her. He kept his eyes on the sky. "We finish it," he said. Above them, a massive alien warship tried to escape orbit. Its engines burned bright as it pushed upward. Inside, the alien commander shouted orders. "Full power. Get us out of this system." But the ship didn't move far. A human cruiser appeared in front of it, silent, still, waiting. The alien commander froze. "That is not possible," he whispered. Then the human ship fired. A single pulse of light. No sound. No warning. The alien warship stopped. Then slowly it broke apart. Like glass. Back on the surface. The humans watched. No cheers. No celebration. Only silence. Because this was not victory. This was only the beginning. On another planet, far from Carthos 9, the same scene played out. Human slaves stood in chains. Then suddenly, the chains unlocked. The guards lost control. Lights went out. And from the sky, human ships arrived. Inside one alien command center, officers were panicking. "We are under attack from multiple systems. Enemy origin? Unknown." "How can it be unknown?" the commander shouted. Then a screen flickered. A symbol appeared. Simple. Clear. Human. The room went silent. Back in space. The human fleet moved with perfect timing. It was not random. It was planned. Every ship had a target. Every strike had a purpose. Communication towers were destroyed first. Then defense grids. Then command ships. Within minutes, entire systems lost control. On Earth, the command center was active. The holographic map now showed large sections of the galaxy turning red. Enemy systems falling. Human fleets advancing. The commander stood still, watching everything. "Report," he said. An officer replied, "Phase 2 successful. Enemy response delayed." Another added, "Slave populations are being freed across all zones." The commander nodded. "Losses. Minimal." A quiet breath left the room. Everything was working exactly as planned. But far away, something else was happening. At the edge of known space, a massive structure activated. An ancient alien defense system, much older than the current council, much more powerful. It had been silent for centuries. Until now, a deep voice echoed inside it. Threat level critical. Species identified. Human. Response authorized. The system began to wake. Back on Carthos 9, Marcus and his group moved through the destroyed facility. They reached the control center. Screens were broken. Systems were dead. But one terminal still worked. A soldier stepped forward. "I can access their network," he said. Marcus nodded. "Do it." The soldier activated the system. A map appeared, not just of the planet, but of nearby systems. And what they saw changed everything. "There are more fleets coming," the soldier said. "Alien reinforcements." Marcus looked closer. "How long?" "Not long," the soldier replied. Marcus was silent for a moment. Then he spoke. "Good." The others looked at him, confused. "Good?" the woman asked. Marcus finally turned. "They still think they can win," he said. A small smile appeared on his face. "Let them come." In deep space, human ships changed direction. They were no longer just attacking. They were waiting, setting traps, drawing enemies in. The alien fleets arrived fast. Hundreds of warships, powerful, advanced. They entered the system with full force, weapons ready, formations perfect. Their commander spoke with confidence. "Destroy all human vessels." For a moment, nothing happened. No human ships, no movement, empty space. The alien commander smiled. "They have retreated." Then suddenly, space itself seemed to bend. Human ships appeared from all sides. Above, below, behind, everywhere. "What?" the alien commander shouted. Too late. The trap had closed. Human ships fired together. Perfect timing. Perfect precision. Alien ships exploded one after another. No chance to react. No chance to escape. Back on Earth, the commander watched the battle. "Phase 3 initiated," an officer said. The commander nodded slowly. "They are learning," he said, "but not fast enough." In the Galactic Council hall, panic had replaced pride. Leaders shouted over each other. "This is war." How did this happen? They were slaves. One voice finally cut through the chaos. Cold, serious. "We underestimated them." Silence followed. Another leader spoke quietly. "What are they?" No one answered, because no one knew. On Carthos 9, the battle in the sky was ending. Wreckage fell like rain. Fire covered the horizon. Marcus stood still, watching it all. The young boy from before walked up to him. "Is it over?" he asked. Marcus looked down at him, then back at the sky. "No," he said softly. "This is just the first strike." High above the planet, one human flagship remained still, watching everything. Inside, the fleet commander spoke. "All targets neutralized." A pause. Then he gave the next order. "Prepare for expansion." An officer looked at him. "Expansion, sir?" The commander's eyes were cold. "Yes." They wanted slaves. He turned to the stars. "Now they will learn what humans become when they fight back." Far away, the ancient alien system continued to wake. Energy levels rising, weapons activating. Something much bigger was coming. Something even humans had not planned for. And in the darkness of space, the war had truly begun. The galaxy was no longer in control. It was falling apart. What once looked like a powerful and united system was now broken into pieces. Communication lines were down. Defense systems were destroyed. Entire fleets had vanished. And in the middle of it all, humanity was rising. Across multiple star systems, human fleets moved forward. Not fast, not careless, but precise. Every movement had a reason. Every attack had a purpose. This was not chaos. This was control. On the war-torn planet of Carthos 9, the battle had ended, but the war had not. Marcus stood among the ruins of the alien facility. Smoke still rose into the sky. The ground was black from fire. Behind him, humans were gathering, free, alive, but changed. A soldier approached him. "We have secured the planet," he said. Marcus nodded. "What about the others?" The soldier looked at his device. "Signals confirm multiple planets are now free." Marcus closed his eyes for a moment. Relief, but only for a second. "Then we move," he said. The soldier hesitated. "Move where?" Marcus looked up at the sky. To them. In deep space, The human flagship received the signal. Ground forces are ready. The fleet commander stood still. Good, he said. Begin phase 4. Around him, officers moved quickly. New targets appeared on the screens. Not just military bases, not just fleets, but something bigger. Core worlds. Back in the Galactic Council. Fear had taken over. The great hall that once echoed with pride was now filled with panic. Leaders shouted over each other. We must defend the core systems. Call all remaining fleets. Activate emergency protocols. One leader stood up suddenly. We should negotiate. The room went silent. Another leader turned sharply. Negotiate? With them? Yes, he said. This is not a normal enemy. A third voice joined in. They are not acting like slaves. Another added, quietly, they are acting like hunters. Far away, near the edge of the core systems, the ancient alien defense structure was now fully awake. Massive, cold, silent. It had no emotion, no fear, only one purpose: destroy threats. And it had decided humans were the greatest threat. Inside the structure, systems activated one by one, weapons charged, energy built up, target locked, human fleets. On the human flagship, alarms suddenly lit up. Unknown energy spike detected. Source: unidentified structure, extreme power levels. The commander stepped forward. Show me. The screen changed, and for the first time, he frowned. That's not council technology, he said. An officer replied, No, sir, it's something older. The commander watched carefully. Can it fire? Before anyone could answer, the answer came. A beam of pure energy shot across space. It moved faster than anything seen before. It hit a human fleet, and in a single moment, dozens of ships were gone. No explosion, no debris, just gone. Silence filled the command room. For the first time, humans had taken a real hit. An officer spoke quietly. We lost contact with multiple units. Another added, We can't track the weapon. The commander did not panic. He stared at the screen, thinking, learning, adapting. Pull back outer fleets, he ordered. Reposition. An officer looked surprised. Retreat, sir. The commander shook his head. No, this is not a retreat. His voice became cold. This is a correction. On Carthos 9, Marcus also received the update. His device beeped. He read the message. For a moment, his expression changed. The young boy noticed. What happened? He asked. Marcus looked at him. Something stronger has joined the fight, he said. The boy looked scared. Can we win? Marcus didn't answer immediately. He looked at the sky, at the human ships, at the burning horizon. Then he said, We don't need to be stronger. The boy frowned. Then how? Marcus's eyes hardened. We need to be smarter. Back in space, human fleets changed their pattern. They stopped attacking blindly. They started observing, testing, learning the enemy. Small ships moved closer to the ancient structure. Fast, agile, they dodged incoming fire, collected data, and then retreated. Inside the human flagship, the data came in, energy pattern identified, weaponry charge time detected, defense gaps located. The commander watched everything, piece by piece. The impossible was becoming understood. Prepare strike units, he said. An officer hesitated. Sir, that weapon destroyed an entire fleet. The commander nodded. I know. He stepped closer to the screen. But it cannot destroy what it cannot hit. In the Galactic Council, hope returned for a brief moment. The ancient system is working. It's destroying them. We might survive this. But one leader remained silent, watching, thinking. They are not stopping, he said slowly. The others looked at him. What do you mean? He pointed at the screen. Human fleets were still moving, still advancing, still adapting. They are learning, he said. And once they understand it, he didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. In space, the final preparation began. Small human ships spread out, fast, unpredictable. They moved like a swarm. The ancient weapon fired again, destroying some, but missing many. Each miss gave humans more data, more understanding. Then, the human flagship moved forward, directly toward the ancient structure. Officers looked shocked. "Sir, that's the main weapon." The commander stood calm. "I know." "Then why?" "Because," he said, "it expects us to fear it." He paused. "But we don't." The massive weapon charged again. Energy built up. Target locked. The human flagship. On Carthos 9, Marcus looked up suddenly. He felt it. Something big was about to happen. "Watch," he said quietly. In space, the weapon fired. A beam of pure destruction raced forward, straight at the human flagship. At the last second, the ship moved, not away, but forward, into the gap. A blind spot. The beam missed, before the weapon could recharge. Human strike ships hit, fast, precise. They targeted the weak points. One by one, explosions spread across the massive structure. Systems failed. Energy collapsed. Inside the structure, the voice echoed again. Critical damage. System failure. Shutting down. And then, silence. The most powerful weapon in the galaxy was gone. In the Galactic Council, no one spoke. No one moved. Fear had returned, stronger than before. On Carthos 9, Marcus watched the sky. The ancient threat was gone, but his face was not happy, not proud, only serious, because he knew this was not the end. In the human flagship, the commander gave one final order: set course for the Council Corps. An officer looked at him. "All fleets." The commander nodded. "All of them." He turned toward the stars. "This ends now." And across the galaxy, human ships began to move. All of them, toward one place, the heart of power, the Galactic Council. The war was no longer spreading. It was focusing, like a storm closing in.